Do you hear that? That faint pulsing rhythm beneath the ocean waves. That laughter echoing across centuries. That is Joy Boy.
Oh, that's real good.
Not just a name, not just a man. He is the heartbeat of a forgotten promise, the echo of a dawn that never came. A ghost, a legend, a symbol of freedom carved into the bones of history. Long before Goldie Roger laughed at the edge of the world, before the world government choked the sky with its lies, there was a boy, no, a spirit who laughed at the world not because it was perfect, but because he believed it could be. They called him Joy Boy. And from the moment that name first brushed the lips of history, it became something much more than a man. It became an idea, an energy, a defiance of fate. He lived during the void century, that great blank space the world government fear most than anything. A time erased not by forgetfulness, but by force. Joyba stood against the erasure. He was not a king. He was not a god. He was freedom walking. And he failed. Yes, he failed. This part matters. People don't think about it, but it matters. Joy Boy was the one who promised to bring the world together. He promised Fishman Island he would take them to the surface. He wrote an apology, an inscription carved into poneglyph stone, unbreakable, eternal. He said, I am sorry. Those words still exist, not because of power, but because of regret. That failure echoed through the time. It rippled outward like a storm brewing for centuries. The world moved on, or so they thought. But a legacy like that doesn't die. A promise like that waits. Now imagine this. Somewhere across the time, that main spirit, that same spirit begins to stir again. It finds a vessel, not by blood, not by heritage, but by will, by something deeper. Monkey D. Luffy. He didn't ask for this legacy. He didn't want the world on his shoulders. He just wanted to be free, to laugh, to sail, to live. But fate, or perhaps freedom itself, had other plans. From the very beginning, Luffy was different. The will in his eyes, the way he looked at the world, like it was his to shape. Not rule, shape. There's a difference. Ruler wants control. Luffy wants chaos, possibility, movement. Joy Boy was the same. We didn't know it then. Not at Dawn Island, not at Longetown, not at Albasta or Skypiea. But it was there. That rhythm, that pulse, that echo. Every time Luffy laughed in the face of a tyrant, every time he stood up for a friend, every time he fell and got back up with that same stupid grin, Joy Boy stirred. But let's go back. Let's return to the truth. The world government feared Joy Boy. They feared the message he left behind. So they tried to erase him. They buried his story beneath the layers of law and silence. The poneglyphs were scattered. The scholars of Ohara were burned. The D was left untangling, unexplained, a mystery with a heartbeat. Because that's what Joy Boy left behind. Not a kingdom, not an army, but a heartbeat, a laugh, a song. And what better way to carry that rhythm than through a fruit? Yes, the Gomu Gomu no Mi, the rubber fruit. Silly, isn't it? A joke of a power, stretchy limbs, bouncy feast, laughter incarnate. But it was never the Gomu Gomu no Mi. It was the Hito Hito no Mi model, Nika, the human fruit model, the sun god, the god who dances as he fights, who brings laughter to the oppressed, who turns the battlefield into a festival of freedom. That fruit was stolen by the world government centuries ago, hidden, suppressed, feared. Because those who ate it don't just gain power, they awaken something ancient, something unchained. And Luffy ate that fruit like it was nothing, just a snack, just a choice. He didn't know what it meant, but the world did. The five elders knew. The Marines knew. Emu knew. Because the moment that fruit awakened, the moment Luffy died and rose again on Onigashima, something ancient snapped loose. In that moment, Joy Boy returned. Not as a resurrection, not as possession, but as evolution. Luffy didn't become Joy Boy by birthright. He became Joy Boy because his spirit, his will, his unbreakable, stupid, beautiful determination matched the rhythm, the beat, the drums of liberation. Badum, badum. They beat in the heart of every oppressed soul. Badum, badum. They beat in the steps of a man who never kneels. Badum, badum. And when Luffy rose with that smile on his face, with the world collapsing around him, with death in the air and hopes in his fists, the world shook. His hair flowed like fire. His body stretched with impossible absurdity. Reality bent to his imagination. That was Gear 5th. That was Joy Boy's laughter crashing through the silence of centuries. That was the return. But here's the thing. It's not about power. Gear 5th isn't the strongest form in the world because it breaks physics or because it's fast. It's the strongest because it is free. It does not obey rules. It bends the law of nature because it refuses to be chained. That's Joy Boy. That's Luffy. They are one now. Not as man and ghost, but as soul and echo, as freedom and fire. And this is why the world fears them. Because a man who fights for revenge can be reasoned with. A man who fights for justice can be bought. But a man who fights simply because he loves to live, who fights because laughter is sacred, who fights because others can't, that man cannot be stopped. Luffy isn't Joy Boy reborn. He is Joy Boy remembered. A memory made flesh, a promise given form, a rhythm that finally found its beat. And the world will never be the same. The world wasn't ready. Not for that grin, not for that absurd bouncing form, not for the man who laughed in the face of death and called it a joke, because that was the moment Joy Boy's will screamed. louder than any sword or sermon. You could see it in Kaido's eyes. Not fear, not confusion, but recognition. He would fought monsters, gods, legends. But this was something ancient, something pure. He asked, "Who are you?" And Luffy answered without speaking. He danced, he laughed, he moved like the world itself was just clay in his hands, because to Joy Boy it always was. Rules? They break. Chains? They shatter. Tyrants? They fall. Always. But this transformation isn't just power, it's identity. This is the culmination of centuries, the weight of a lost era, placed on the shoulders of a boy who just wanted to sail. That's the paradox, isn't it? Luffy never asked for any of this. Not the title, not the destiny, not the drum beats buried deep in his chest. He just chased the wind, one island at a time. But destiny chased him. Joy Boy never needed a king. He needed a mirror. Someone who reflected that same reckless joy, that same unshakable resolve, that same holy maddening refusal to let the world stay broken. And Luffy was that mirror. Cracked, imperfect, but true. Even from the beginning, the signs were there. Skypiea, where laughter echoed through the golden bells, the Joy Boy's promise rang louder than the void. Fishman Island, where Shirahoshi wept, where the ancient apology on the polyglyph still bled with the guilt, waiting for the one who would finish what Joy Boy could not. Wano, where the people sang under the weight of centuries, where the dawn had never broken, where Orochi chains wrapped around the joy itself, and then came Luffy, burning. Everywhere he went, Joy Boy followed, not as a ghost, but as a current, a wave that pushed him forward. It was fate, but not fate handed down, fate willed by will. Because the truth is, Joy Boy isn't one man, never was. He is not bound to a body, not a fruit or a name. He is liberation itself. He is the soul that refuses to break. And Luffy? Luffy didn't inherit him. He became him. Not through magic, not through prophecy, but through choice. The choice to keep getting up. The choice to fight for others. The choice to never stop smiling, even as blood runs down your face. That is the mark of Joy Boy. And now the world knows. The five elders called it a threat, a mistake, a force too dangerous to exist, because they know when Joy Boy walks, walls fall, thrones crumble, secrets shatters. He doesn't kill tyrants, he erases their meaning. He doesn't conquer land, he liberates souls. And that's what makes Luffy the most dangerous man alive. Not because of fifth gear, not because of the fruit, but because he cannot be owned. And now the seas are changing. The peoples are whispering again. They hear the drums. Badum, badum. The ancient rhythm returning. Luffy brought it back. Not just in his body, but in the hearts of everyone who watched him. Law, Kid, Yamato, Momo, Tama, the Straw Hats. They felt it, that pulse, that freedom. They didn't need to be told what Joy Boy was. They recognized it. Because freedom, when you feel it, you never forget. You can't unsee the sky once you have flown. And now the sky is open again. But don't think this story is done. No. Emu, hidden in the shadows for centuries, watches in silence. The void that devours truth, now facing the flames that burns lies. The celestial dragons, gods in name only, grips their thrones tighter. They remember the last time the world laughed like this. They remember the fear, because Joy Boy's return isn't just a problem. It's an apocalypse to everything they built. It means the truth is alive. It means the dawn is near. It means they are not untouchable anymore. So now they will fight. Not for order, not for peace, but for silence. To silence that laugh, to extinguish that fire, to kill Joy Boy a second time. But they won't succeed. They can't succeed. Because this time, Joy Boy isn't alone. This time, Joy Boy has a crew. This time, he has allies. And most of all, this time, he has Luffy. Luffy, who doesn't care about destiny, but becomes destiny by simply being himself. Luffy, who doesn't know what it means to kneel and never will. This is Joy Boy's story, this is Luffy's story, and it is far from over. You see, Luffy never needed a crown. He never needed to sit on any throne or rule over any nation. That was never the goal, because real kings don't demand loyalty, they inspire it. That's why the world follows him, not out of fear, but because they see something in him that the world forgot. Hope without a leash. He doesn't fight to dominate, he fights so others can rise. And that is the essence of Joy Boy. Every island he touched, every kingdom he crashed into, Alabasta, Water 7, Annie's Lobby, Sabaody, Fishman Island, Wano. He didn't save them. He reminded them. Reminded them they could stand. Reminded them they had voices. That's what Joy Boy does. He doesn't carry the world. He shakes it awake. And now, with the power of Nika flowing through him, with the drums of liberation thundering louder than ever, Luffy has become the greatest alarm clock this world has ever known. Warlords, admirals, gods, they will all wake up. Because Joy Boy is not a whisper anymore. He is a roar. And in that roar, there is laughter, there is madness, there is something so alive, defies description. What Luffy is now is the sun itself, not just light, hope, blazing, wild, untamed. And for the first time in centuries, the hidden king trembles. Because this isn't just about Wano or Laugh Tale or even the One Piece. This is the end of control. The marines are fracturing. Akainu burns hotter than ever, but he burns alone. The old pillars, Garp, Sengoku, they know They have seen the cracks forming. Kizaru hesitated. Fujitora questioned. Even within the walls of justice, doubts spreads like fire. Because Joy Boy didn't just return, he changed the question. It's no longer who rules the sea. It's what does it mean to be free? And that question is dangerous because it lives in the hearts. You can't shoot it, you can't bury it, you can only try to silence it. But Joy Boy's laugh is too loud. The revolution hears it. Dragon feels the storm rising. He doesn't say it. He doesn't have to. The moment Luffy awakened, the world itself shifted. This was never about politics, never about kingdoms. It's about will, the will of D. The ancient scar on history, a wound that never heals, a name that never refuses to die. Luffy carries it like he carries everything, without question, without fear. And now it shines through him like fire through paper. He's not just the next in line. He is the final crescendo, the echo of every rebel, every dreamer, every soul that dared to smile through the pain. He is the song Joy Boy never got to finish, and now the melody plays again. Drums beating, laughter rising, and somewhere across the seas, at the edge of time, Laugh Tale waits. The final island, the promised land, not just a place, a truth. What Joy Boy left behind wasn't treasure, it was purpose. Proof that the world was lied to, that the gods bleed, that the age of fear is dying, and the age of freedom is coming. Luffy will get there. Not for power, not for glory, but because his friends believe in him, because he believes in them, because he carries not a crown, but 1,000 voices shouting, "Let the world burn, we will dance in the fire." That's Joy Boy, not a savior, not a king, a spark. And Luffy is the wildfire. So draw that smile wide, let the hair flow like a blaze against the sky. Because this is the man who laughed at death and made the heaven laugh back. This is Joy Boy, reborn. And the world will never be the same. Please do share, like and comment. Let me know what you want to see next. Until next time, sayonara.